Hello, my sewing friends. This is Friday Sews. I'm Jen, and this is the sewing room where I've been absent a long time. Feels like a long time to me. It's been about 3 weeks, and the reason was that I had a family emergency and I had to go screaming out of here. So, yeah, not much sewing got done. But I want to tell you about the sewing before I go on and tell you about life, because sewing is what unites us, isn't it? In the sewing community, that's why we show up. We want to talk about sewing. So let's talk about sewing. Most of what I have to tell you happened after I got back, which was late last week. Okay, let me start with the Garnet cardigan. The Garnet cardigan is a free pattern from the Mood Sewciety. I don't like instructions this small, but I wanted them to all fit on one page. So yeah, that's what I got. Well, the notable thing about this cardigan, and the thing that drew me to the cardigan, was the fact that you put pin tucks all along the bottom hem and the hem of the sleeves. I thought that looked so cool. So I cut it out and I got going on it, and I haven't done anything on it since because I only got it back in here about a day ago. But this is what I've got going on. And I made these tucks at about 1/4 of an inch. Well, you know, this is the front of the cardigan. And can you see how skinny that is right down there? It's like, I don't think that's going to work. I sewed these tucks too big. Like, I took too much of a seam allowance. Even though it's only 1/4 of an inch, I could not find in the instructions how big these tucks were supposed to be. And not kidding, I read them forward, I read them backward. I tried and tried. So I went to the website, which is actually where you get the instructions. I kind of copied and pasted all of it so I could get it onto one document. But I think it was the creator of the pattern was answering comments on the post where the pattern is shown and where the instructions are. And I think she said she used 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. So yeah, that was my trouble. So I think I'm probably going to tear these out. I would love to say that I'm not going to, but oh, come on. Have you met me? I conquer life. I never give up, like to my detriment. So yeah, I think that's probably what I'm going to do. But, you know, okay, maybe I'll have a fabulous cardigan out of it. Who knows? More sewing. When I walked in here from my trip and I finally got in here, I was greeted with a lot of have-to sewing. Oh, there is nothing that will rob you of your sojo faster than, oh, great, I've got to alter and fix and do this for someone else. You know, it's funny. One of my resolutions for 2022 was that I wanted to do a lot of sewing for other people. You know what I feel like now? I never want to sew for another person ever again. It's kind of like when you go on a trip and you know, it's a long trip and you've been in the car for hours and you get out and you go, I never am getting in a car ever again. Same thing. You know what? I'm going to sew for others. Of course I am. Well, I did a closet purge, and I then put part of that video up and I made it private so only my girls could see it. And I said, do you want any of this stuff? Because I was going to donate it if they didn't. And so, sure, they said, I'll take that and that and that, which shocked me because I'm the mom. I wear the mom clothes, and these are hip young girls and all in their 20s and two in their 30s. Anyway, so one of them wanted this skirt. This is a Simplicity pattern. It's a beautiful skirt. I got to tell you, it is a beautiful skirt. And the only reason I didn't like it on me is because of all the gathers. If I were going to make this again, I would pleat it. I would just go in and instead of gathering it, I would pleat it because, well, the pockets are pleated. So it wouldn't be any great stretch to do that. Well, anyway, Emma tried it on and it was a little big on her. So I removed the zip and I am going to take it in about 3/4 of an inch on each side. And all this is going to take is just sew up the center back seam so it's smaller, put the zip in, and then this is all finished inside. So all I'll need to do is fold this piece of the waistband down on the inside and stitch it. That's it. That is nothing. In the scope of making something that is nothing. She also had a dress that she asked me to hem. And now this is interesting because this is a beautiful wrap dress that she found. I think she found it on ThreadUp, if you know what that is. And it's beautiful. It's a maxi, but it's a wrap dress and it's this gorgeous rayon. And the thing that's interesting about this is that there are more than one ways to skin a cat or to hem a dress. I don't think that there should be any skinning of cats going on. But anyway, this has this gorgeous border on the bottom. Okay, so it's a gathered flounce. And if I were going to hem this, traditionally, what you would think is I'm going to fold this up. Well, I'd lose all of that. And I didn't want to do that. So what I did was I took the bodice off of the skirt. And what I'm going to do is cut an inch or whatever I need. It's actually about an inch off the top of the skirt, and the skirt is just gathered into the bodice. And again, it's a wrap dress, so I'm just going to then sew it back onto the bodice. So yeah, what a deal, huh? Oh, this one too. And then I have the Celeste dress. This is from Itch to Stitch, and I don't know, it fits me okay. Fits Emma great, but it's a little bit loose for her taste. So I think I have some scraps of this fabric, and I'm going to make ties. That'll be, gosh, no time at all. Sew the ties on, done. And there's that zip. That's pretty, oh, sewing, more sewing. I got a pattern in the mail. This is vintage Laura Ashley from 1987. Whenever I go onto the Facebook destash pattern destash page, I look for vintage Laura Ashley, especially this era, like the late 80s, 90s, because I love these clothes. This is a jacket and a skirt, a pleated skirt, and it's just so pretty. It's got that little bit of ruffled detail right around the neckline there, and then on the bottom. Oh my gosh. And you know what? The great big puffy sleeve, to be honest, it's very in style now. Anyway, so I got that. That was not expensive. $3 or $4, I think, but $3 or $4 shipping too, I think. So yeah, that's where it gets expensive. The other thing is, I forgot to tell you, when I left in a big hurry. So I had gotten all these linens out of the dryer that I had gotten. I had gone to Goodwill and I got sheets and a shower curtain, which I'll show you at another time. But anyway, I had come in here and just kind of dumped it all on the table. And so it sat there for all that time, like 3 weeks, wadded up and needed to all be undone, or actually not undone, but folded and gotten into some semblance of shape that I could show to you. Okay, so I was doing, I was wrapping it onto boards and getting it ready to show you. And I somehow knocked my scissors off my work table, and I noticed they were on the floor, and I don't know how this happened, but they got a nick in them. So now they won't cut right. Oh, and I thought, oh man, I can't do without those for weeks, not weeks, but a week at least. From the time that I can drop them off to the people that sharpen scissors, and I needed to take some other ones over there anyway. So I just ordered another pair. And I wanted to tell you about these because these are Kai scissors. And they were $20 on Amazon, which for exceptionally good scissors like that is a steal of a deal. They make all kinds of scissors. These are the 9.5 inch dressmaking scissors. So they look like that, and they are incredibly sharp, and can you hear that? Yeah, that means they're sharp. So I got another pair. Okay, that's all of sewing, all of it. If that was what you were here for and you really don't want to hear about life, then let me say thank you so much for coming and watching this video, and I will see you the next time I do talk about sewing. Now, life. If you're interested in life, what I have to tell you, so much. Okay, I'm going to start out by saying I really did scream out of here so fast because my mom had an outpatient procedure done and there were complications, and she had to be taken in an ambulance from the place where she had it done to the hospital. She was flat on her back in the hospital for 3 days, and then it took 5 before she was out, 5 days total that she was in. And she needed in-home care. She really did. She needed for somebody to be there to do things like fix dinner and clean it up and, you know, step and fetch, basically. My dad is 89 and he is not in the greatest of shape. And it was really one of those situations where if something, you know, like catastrophic were to happen to one or the other of them, the other one wouldn't be in a position to be able to take care of the other one. And, you know, I have a lot of family right around where they live, like within 20 miles. I have 6 brothers and sisters, and 5 of them all live that close. But, yeah, they all have lives. So I found out that this was happening the day before I decided to go up there because I didn't think I needed to. But then the next day I talked with my mother, and she was very groggy and very, you know, it was 1 o'clock in the afternoon and I booked a flight and I was in the air at 6 o'clock. It was so fast that, and thank God I keep my winter clothes up there because it was like 10 degrees. Oh, it was so cold. But I went out of there so fast that I had started making banana bread, and thank God I had not put in the dry ingredients because that went into the fridge and stayed there until I got back like 3 weeks later. My husband and I were talking and he said, "What is that stuff in there?" I said, "I don't know. What is that?" So I'd completely forgotten, but I did make it up and it's good banana bread. So the tragic thing about that day was that I was going to get together with someone that I know through my channel. Her name is Carol Bevan. She's a subscriber and we've gotten to know each other through comments. She's a Brit, so she's from the UK and she was on holiday here, on vacation, as we say, here in Florida. Well, first of all, the weather was really bad. It was freezing cold everywhere, and so they did not get the tropical weather that we really had hoped that she would get. And we were supposed to get together that day, and I had to call her and say, "I'm so sorry. This is just so disappointing because I really wanted to see her, meet her, and have coffee or tea or whatever she's tea, probably for her." And so I couldn't do that because I had to get on a plane and go. So she was so kind to leave some gifts for me and 2 of my other sewing friends, Michelle from Michelle Sews Again and Carmen from Carmen Salome, because we 3 live really close to each other here. And we were all going to go see Carol. Well, Carol left us gifts. She's such a sweetheart. She left me tea. So I have Earl Grey afternoon and morning tea. This is all loose tea, so I got to locate. I think I might have one of those little bobber things that you put the loose tea in and then you know, whatever. So that was one thing. And she told me all about the tea. And then there was a box. This was the box. And look at the beautiful watercolors on here. It says Dorset because that's near where she's from. Look at the beautiful, beautiful sketches and just the watercolor drawings on this. I love the box. But in the box was a mug, and it says Dorset, and it's got these gorgeous watercolor illustrations on it, or paintings. I don't know if these are paintings in real life, but they all say where the place is that the picture is of. So it's like, oh, so cool. And on the handle, it's got that. Isn't that beautiful? I just love it. And on the bottom, it says where it's from, who designed it, by Emma Ball. Well, my Emma is a potter. So, you know, and she made me a mug for Christmas. So I just, everything about this it just thrilled my heart. And so I have since talked with Carol, and we have talked through Zoom, and I hope that we will be talking a lot, actually. And she is just a delight. And, you know, of course, it's so fun to have a person from another part of the world that you can talk about sewing. You can talk about all kinds of things with. And I just love her. I'm still so disappointed that I didn't get to meet her in person. But now it's my turn to go to the UK, isn't it? And maybe I can meet her on her turf. They're also talking about coming back for another holiday. I think maybe this fall. I don't know. I'll have to talk to her about it, but I hope I really can get together with her. Okay, so while I was gone, I just had some adventures with crochet. Yes, me and yarn had some fun. Let me show you what I did. You know, I have two daughters that are like crochet geniuses. So I thought, well, maybe I should just get, you know, I'm going to be kind of not having anything to do for periods of time while I'm with my mom, because I had to basically just take care of the house. Some degree of taking care of her was happening and my dad, but largely I was just there for kind of support. So I got some yarn and I picked out a pattern and I started going to town. So the first thing I made was this. This is the first part of the design. Yeah, not my greatest effort. Okay, so that went out the window. Then I thought, well, let's try it with pink. So I did, and I got a little further along, but this yarn is beautiful. It's a rayon yarn, but it doesn't have any oomph to it. And so the idea here is these little petals are supposed to like stand up a little bit. No, that wasn't happening. Wait, let's do this. Get rid of that. So then I tried to go back to the blue and same thing. I thought, all right, I need different yarn. So let's try another yarn. So I got more yarn and I tried this. I did not like the colors at all. See these petals that are all supposed to kind of fall? They're supposed to stand up. Like, yeah, no, obviously they're not standing up. Was not wild about these colors. So that went down. Yeah. This one, I went back to the other yarn and you can see how floppy it is. It's just so floppy and because it's soft. It's got rayon in it. And it's really pretty. Yeah, I like the colors better. And I got further along, but these are stitch markers. These are what you have for stitch markers, safety pins, when you don't have any stitch markers because you never do crochet. So no, that didn't fly. So I started over yet again. Okay, let me also say, while I went and I got out of here so quick to get up there to take care of my mom and my dad, I came back about as fast because I wanted to stay until she was really back to herself again. And so we talked about it one morning, and it was a Wednesday morning. And by that evening, I was in the air again coming home. So I got home at about midnight. My husband picked me up. That was on a Wednesday. On Thursday, I was at home, kind of unpacking, settling back in, sleeping in my own bed. On Friday, I had to go get my youngest kid and move her into my house. Like, move her in. Some of what I did on Thursday was kind of make the bed, make sure that, her room was at least ready to receive all the things that, arrive when you move. So, yeah, we had to do that. And then this was the last weekend. I spent kind of just trying to be there for her and, what you do as a mom. Okay, well, she's one of the crochet geniuses. So I told her I had started this. And because she is a crochet genius, she helped. So I've gotten this far. And it's beautiful. It really is beautiful. And I have about 4 more rows around the square to go. And now this square, you're supposed to make 35 of these and connect them for a blanket. Do you think that's going to happen at my house? Oh, no. No. That is not going to happen because I don't crochet. And that took forever. And it's a lot of counting and it's a whole lot of, now what was I doing? A lot of that. And it's not hard. It really isn't hard. I know the basics of crochet. I've always known them. I've made afghans and, basic things before. So that wasn't hard. What was hard was figuring out how the basic pattern, like you do this, and this, and then you repeat it, and then you repeat it again, things like that. So it wasn't hard. It was just tedious. And I don't mind tedious if I'm sitting with nothing else to do. But sewing is so much faster. And I can sew while I'm listening to a book, whereas that, I just feel like I'm sitting in, it's all your focus, isn't it? If your focus is the crochet project, then that's what you want to do. That just feels like killing time to me. Sewing doesn't feel like killing time, although why doesn't it? I don't know. It's way faster. I'll tell you that. It's definitely faster. So that's been my crochet adventure. Oh my gosh. It's been a crazy few weeks, and I'm glad to be back home. I'm glad to be back in here, even if it's a whole lot of have-to sewing that robs you of your sojo. But I have many things that I need to work on and that I'm excited about finishing. One is this dress over here. I need to put a flounce on the bottom and then get it in a package and send it to Minneapolis, where the kid lives that it's going to be for. Same with a sports bra. It's like, get these things done, get them done, get them out, and then I don't have to deal with them anymore. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. So yeah, let me know what you're up to. If you would like to see my last Friday Sews, ancient history, I guess, look right up over here. And I will see you soon, probably sooner than the next Friday Sews, because I've got things to show you. Thanks for watching. And don't forget who loves you the most.